Good morning, Alan, and hello, everyone else. Welcome to TARDIS Spider. Today, when did the Time War start? Let's look back at the classic series and see if we can determine when the Time War started. When is the Time War? There is an absurdity to that question, much like asking, when did World War II happen? Of course, there is a right and a wrong answer. We have to balance the knowledge that the Time War has raged across all of history and all of the tomorrows. We also know that 13 doctors are present near the end. Yet, as broadcast, the Time War is unspoken of in the classic series. There are clips in the classic series scattered through the new series to eliminate the theory that the Time War means the classic series did not happen as we saw it. But then, how does the Time War interact with the classic series? The question I ask is the fact that the Seventh Doctor used ancient Time Lord technology to destroy Skaro part of a plan? This is at least implied, stretching all the way back to the Daleks. It certainly seems like it should be related to the fact that a major war broke out between the Daleks and the Time Lords in the Doctor's next regeneration. Please like and subscribe. Let us try to solve a massive and confusing continuity problem by matching it up with the Dalek timeline. We still never came up with a compelling reason as to why the Doctor knows what the Daleks are in the Daleks, despite them being a time traveling species of huge historical importance. I will not try to offer a complete Dalek timeline, yet it is worth noting I see two distinct types of Daleks. The basic, warlike military Dalek that you see in stories like The Daleks, Death to Daleks, or Destiny of the Daleks, and the time traveling Daleks of Remembrance of the Daleks, Day of the Daleks, and The Chase. To make things simple, we can treat time travel Dalek stories as time war stories. This is compelling in a number of cases. The chase makes uncanny sense if you can assume the time war Daleks are trying to remove the Doctor's influence from the ongoing war. Remembrance of the Daleks also makes sense as well, with the Davros Daleks seemingly making a move to recover an ancient Time Lord weapon. This would suggest that we are not only at war, but this is a major battle. Still, there are questions. Let us start with the general Dalek one. Where is the transition from classic Daleks to Time War Daleks? A flashpoint to look at is Evil of the Daleks, where the Daleks encounter time travel while not having that technology on their own. At the end of the story, with the final end of the Daleks, is this a turning point for Dalek civilization? Whatever Daleks remained, they would rebuild and use Maxible's time technology. Add to this, the Daleks fail to know that the Doctor is not human. This would explain the time corridor style of technology in Resurrection of the Daleks and Day of the Daleks, where Dalek time travel appears to involve movement between two fixed points, being able to travel to and from both, much like what is seen in Evil of the Daleks. We are now narrowing down on when the Time War has broken out. There is a direct line from resurrection to remembrance. This is easy to explain. The fixed point time traveling Daleks have dug up Davros, and in time he improves the technology to be the equal of that used by the Time Lords, igniting war. An interesting wrinkle is that the stories that are Time War related are clustered in early series history: The Chase and the Daleks' Master Plan, Power of the Daleks. Yes, even Remembrance is involved here. As in our Earth timeline, this happens just after Hartnell's doctor has left, with the Daleks hoping to find Hartnell's doctor here, wanting to defeat the doctor early, the same as the Time Lords wanting to defeat the Daleks in Genesis of the Daleks. Our next question: how aware of the Time War is the Doctor when the war breaks through into the classic series? We know all 13 Doctors have some knowledge of the Time War, in the Day of the Doctor. Yet it obviously does not make sense for the Doctor to always have been aware of it. The Day of the Doctor establishes that when Time Lords meet other incarnations of themselves, they don't remember it. This allows us to assume that whenever the Doctor is dragged into the Time War, they forget about it afterwards. In the classic series, the Time Lords could and would alter memories. Remember, the third Doctor had all memory on how to fly the TARDIS removed. But what if the Doctor always knew something of the Time War at some level? In Hellbent, we learn that the Time Lords had hazily remembered knowledge in the cloisters. This motivated the Doctor to leave Gallifrey, and more to the point, leave with the Hand of Omega, precipitating what we know is a major battle of the Time War, remembrance of the Daleks. What if the Doctor has always been quietly waging the Time War since his first adventure after leaving Skaro in the Daleks? More compelling evidence. In Asylum of the Daleks, when we find out that the Daleks have been sequestering survivors from encounters with the Doctor. Three of the survivors are from Time War stories: the Daleks' Master Plan, Power of the Daleks, and The Chase. But two of them are from the military Daleks: Planet of the Daleks and Death to Daleks. That these Daleks have survived even after the Time War suggests one of two things: the Asylum stayed out of the Time War, or is a post Time War creation. This suggests that the Daleks have been constantly marauding up and down their own timeline, and all Dalek stories are part of the Time War. So all Dalek stories are freestanding tales, yet all are part of the Time War. So, when does the Time War happen? Anytime the Doctor meets the Daleks. So enjoy your journey through time and space. And good night.